Good evening and good day and good morning and good to everybody that is with us here on an Artist on Lockdown. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Steve, out there for putting this together and allow me or let me share with you the experience of to be with me in the water. What I'm going to share with you is the experience and the excitement of getting out of home and have challenges that are behind your imagination. And this time we're going to see or to be with some of the largest animals that live in the planet. Um, for this, I have a company that I've created many years ago, about 45 years ago, called Big Animals Expedition. The aim is to have you join me as your expedition leader on an epic wildlife experience. An epic because there are only two, four, no more than six people per trip, and we're going to share time with some of what's supposed to be and what called or what been said that they are dangerous, but they are really not. So, what is the motto of my or the ethos of my experience with you or you with me? Is I'm going to share with you in the company of ocean giants. It is an anthology of my photography, of my years in the wilderness, pushing the envelope and living on the edge of comfort and common sense. I will share with you with picture, not just with stories, what is to be like with two animals today. One of them is the anaconda, a snake that reached to a size of almost 24 feet long, and with the Nile crocodile that reached to a size of almost 6, 7, or 8 feet long. Both of yes, there is a fear and there is experience that people got killed by them. But the encounter that I'm going to show you, it is defy all belief that people are going to die because there is a way which how we engage with each other in peace, and there is a way which how we engage with the wild animals, and that is my experience. The first one here, as you see in the black and white, the beautiful, the majestic, in a way it never changed, dinosaurs over 300 million years ago. Tell me that is not worthwhile even to see it in the wilderness and to be with it in the water, despite the teeth. And then also to be with the anaconda, a snake that only by power that it goes around and choke the animal and can feed on something bigger than it by almost 10 times. Well, the first part of the presentation today, I'm going to take you with me into Botswana, into Africa, a land where there is a river going through it, and it is the only river in the world that not drain into the ocean, but drain into the plateau of Botswana and create these extraordinary marshes. The river called the Okavango River. It started from the mountain of Angola on the west coast or the west side of Africa and go across Namibia, South Africa, and into Botswana and drain far out into the plateau, into the marshes of Botswana. In the river, there is wildlife, and the wildlife is as such not just underwater, but also above water, which is mean people like us. We are also part of the wildlife. And we try to go under. And I take with me only 2 or 3 people on this kind of trip because the encounter an animal have to be done safely. And I've done it already for 10 or 11 times, and every time very successful. And there is zero accident or immaculate safety record. What's happened is that the water are murky because we are in the river and there is a sand and there is dirt that coming from all along as the river pass along for its long distance. Visibility perhaps 10 to 15 feet at the most. So we need to use very wide angle lens. But in the river, because there is so much food in it, so much nutrient, there is also beautiful scenery of vegetation and especially of the lotus flower. But also there is the crocodile. Now, Just put a mind to rest for a moment. I know the picture may be very scary for you, but let's put it away, pull it away for a moment and think about it. Where did you see before a crocodile attacking people or attacking any other animal to feed? Guys, 100% of the time, crocodile only feed on the surface. Only the picture, all of the picture from BBC, from Geographic, from Discovery, from Netflix, from Amazon, wherever it will be, in the wilderness of the croc feed only on the surface. They cannot feed underwater because they have a throat like us. And if they open their mouths big, water coming in, like what happened to us, and if we don't get fast out of the water, we will drown. The same thing happened with the croc. It can hold its metabolism or heartbeat, just like a turtle, for a very slow to between 10 to 6 or 7 beat a minute. And then it can stay underwater, but not for very long, maximum 10 to 15 minutes. So all of the attack happened only the surface. One of the first time we went out there, we did a test for the BBC, and we took a pole of about 3 to 4 feet long. In the end of the pole, we put a white ball, and we bring it close to the eye. Only when the ball was about less than maybe 7 to 8 inches from the eye, only then the croc reacted and moved away, did not even try to take it. So what's happened is, because it's such murky water, the eyes never been the subject or never been the tools which how the croc use to see in the water. They can see out of the water. In the water, the sensors are along the lower jaws of the croc on both sides. So when we're coming in, we try not to get as close as no more than 30 inches or about 2 or 3 feet away from the croc, and then there is no problem, and be able to take this kind of picture. As you see here, I lead one other photographer. I was on one side, the photographer was the other side. He got a little bit too close, so the croc turned toward me and before me, but it went back down into the river and away from the picture. And here the croc that was sitting comfortably, quietly, that's, by the way, called Fat Albert, because this croc had a reputation that as a young boy disappeared in a village that was far away from where the croc right now. It was about almost 100 kilometers or 70 miles away from where we found it. And the reputation was this boy disappeared, and everybody in the village thought that this one of the croc that was living very close to the community, because they feed on whatever they throw in the water, or sometime on the people, on the woman that goes and do the laundry by the river, or sometime on the fishermen that sit on the Makoro, and the croc come out of the surface, take them, unfortunately. So they thought the boy also disappeared. So they rather decide to kill it in this modern time. The villagers got together with some other worldwide farm operator that lived there, and they took the croc, move it to about 70 kilometers or 70 miles, about 100 kilometers away from the village. When I came in, I was, where is Fat Albert? Where is this large croc that is 6, 7, or 8 feet long? And then we came down to see it, and here it is. I was out of the water together with my client in the back. I went up front, and then I allowed him to come close toward me and take the picture together with the croc and the diver. And here is another one, the same diver, but here I am again. But what's happened to the croc, usually we find them on the surface, is a very short window of opportunity of 3 or 4 weeks in the year, between the end of July, beginning of August, that is the prime time to see the croc. Why? Because this is the winter time in the southern hemisphere, and therefore the croc are more lethargic. They are not as agitated, they are not as active, they are not as moving, and also they live alone during this period of time. All the female, usually every male have between 7 or 10 female around him. So in this case, during this time in the winter, they are spread out along the river. They are not close to each other. And this is the best time to be there, because we know that if we found one on the surface, and because we come with the boat, the sound will attract them or aggravate them, and they will go to the water and swim and hide. Then we can go diving with them, as you see in this picture, or as you see it coming over my head. There were times also that will be aggressive, not at us, but they will look for something to do, and therefore we let them do it. And of course, at night when we sit at the camp by the fire after good beer or good wine and really delicious meals that we have there, sitting together by the fire and telling stories how big the croc was. But the croc, the Nile croc, as I said, is the largest of all the croc in the world, and reached to a size of probably 8 feet at the most. They will weigh about close to over 500 to 700 pounds, and they are actually a dinosaur. If you look at the back of it, you can see that it did not change in 350 million years that they live on the planet. So that's the beauty of having the experience go out from home, not just to go to travel, sitting in a coffee shop in Paris, or going to shopping in Milan, or flying a plane to somewhere. The idea is to come down and to sit down and to either go diving or exploring on the land and see what Mother Nature created, because they are perfect. All animals are perfect for the environment that they're living in. We are not perfect. Look at the trouble we have accepting each other those days, or dealing with each other, or governing each other. But these animals, of course, they don't have border, they don't have anchoms, they don't have parliament, they don't have government, they don't have almost any diseases. They are perfect for their environment, except when we start to throw pollution and plastic and all other garbage to the water. We move out from the croc and go out dealing with the anaconda, the largest snake ever on the planet. It lives mostly in South America, between Venezuela and Brazil, in the river, maybe some Argentina and Colombia. But we are right now in Brazil. The snake can reach a size of almost 24 feet long. It feeds by choking its prey. Predominant prey is the kookaburra, which is the large rodent in the along the river in the Pantanal, not in the Amazon, in the Pantanal. This is what they call, there is yellow and there is a green anaconda. This is the yellow anaconda. You see the coloration, you see the beautiful skin and the eye embedded in on the third left, and the marking on the face is such perfection. How we have not designed a vehicle that can go underwater and above water in such a smooth movement, and it's just phenomenal. Yes, we see more than one or two or three. None of my clients ever been affected. Simply one of the main reasons, we take only 3 people with me, and I take only one person at a time, lead them to see the snake in the water, as you see in this picture. And here it come into the water, and we follow him in the water. You see one of my clients sitting in the front, and the snake goes all the way to the right and turn around, and total curiosity. No aggravation, no threatening of us. On the contrary, till you see the video. Here is one more close-up of a photographer together with a snake, and this is again one of my pictures that I'm very proud of it, because as the snake move, not just along the sand, but sometimes the grass in the water, and they use the tongue to feel their way. This is how they get sense of what's happening in front of them. What is the flavor? What is if they're familiar with the destination or not? What they need to avoid, and this is how they coil themselves in the ground when we come around them. So let's go now. I'll go back. Let's go now to the video of the anaconda, please. Pete, if you are with me, please let's go for the anaconda video. I guess Pete is not with me. Pete, 1212. Okay, I see the video going. I'm sorry, I was not in tune with the technology. Now we have the sound to publish. Thank you, Pete. And I'm back with you guys. So what you see here, these images of the croc and the Nile croc from Botswana and the snake, the anaconda from Brazil, are the images taken in the natural environment, in the setting, and all of the animals are depicted here are free and wild. In other words, I did not entice them, I did not feed them, I did not aggravate them, and we did not do any of these things. We just shadowing them. We be parallel to them. We looked at them, investigate. If they start reacting with us, we just follow them into the environment. Let's go for the next movie, please. Because this the next movie, it is actually the trailer for the movie that was made about my career and about my life. So if anyone want to see the movie, please go to the website pictureofhislife.com, and then you'll be able to see the link to see the movie.
Amos, to me, is one of the best ambassadors of the ocean. It takes huge amount of risks to bring those images which nobody else has ever been able to capture.
He comes back with images that no one can get. He is probably the best underwater still photographer in the world.
His story was always shrouded in mystery.
He doesn't have a normal life. He doesn't have children. He's married to the ocean.
He has this passion. He wants to be in the water, close to polar bear, swim with the biggest predator on Earth.
If the wind is too turbulent, we're not going to go there.
There's so many factors that can work against you.
All right, guys, we're taking off.
Amos and his team have only 5 days to find a polar bear and take the picture.
It's the one animal where humans are part of their food chain. People get eaten by polar bears.
He needs that adrenaline rush. He needs to be at the edge. And if he doesn't do it in one way, he'll do it in another way. And maybe his military background has part to do with it.
What happened to Amos in the army is a mystery to me. He didn't come home, really.
I can see blue sky compared to seeing flames.
I wonder if there is some kind of unfinished business with the polar bear.
Believing in yourself and go all the way for it, no matter what obstacle. And this is all the power of big.
Amos wants to prove that those large animals aren't our enemies, and that we can live with them in harmony.
So guys, let's go. If you want to see the movie, and if this trailer encourage you to see the movie or excite you, it is available. Pictureofhislife.com, and that's the website of the movie, and from there you can click and be able to watch it at your pleasure, at your time, and together with your family. Well, to summarize what we have seen today and what I am trying to share with you, and the experience that I want you to have, not just the education, but also the experience, the life, to go out from home to do something so amazing when we can safely. Maybe in the next 6 months or a year from now, because of all of us is under the concern of the pandemic and try to keep safe. It is, but let's be mindful for the ocean, but also to each other today. And we must add also to each other. Let's be respectful and mindful of this virus. No politician, no Democrat, no Republican, and definitely not any weapon that we know can solve it. Only science and only compassion and patience between us be able to move forward and clean, to stay healthy. If you want to see more of my work, go for the expedition. The website is biganimals.com. And if you are interested in prints, some beautiful gallery prints which are sold for galleries and for private collection, go to amosphotography.com, and there you can see the information available, the size and pricing, and whatever images I have to share. Come with us hopefully next week or maybe the week after, because I'll be in some medical procedures. So next week I'll be off, but the week after I'll be giving another presentation. You can join us. And if you have any questions, I'm available here. If Pete will help me and read any of the question, and I'll be there. I'll be here to answer and to share with you my experience, and hopefully share with you the experience in the wilderness. Thank you, guys.